All right, welcome back, good people. On this video, I want to talk about something that allows me to go just a little bit deeper into the personal development part of who I am and what I share along my journey. And that's the title of this video is going to be, Don't Make It So Hard Being Yourself. A lot of times what we do, we have a tendency to study certain people. And as we're studying those people, we want to be as good as those people are, right? And when we see ourselves, we're coming from a different perspective. When we're actually doing it ourselves, and we have a tendency to be more critical on ourselves than we should be. And that's kind of good and that's kind of bad, but that's bad because when you're watching me speak or talk or do what I do, then you're not incorporating any of you in me, and you can't. So you have to incorporate you in you when you share what you share with your audience or with the people that you talk to, right? I hope that makes sense. But if it doesn't, let me bring it to you another way. When you see somebody on screen, let's say you're watching a movie, when you see that person on the screen and they're in an action movie or whatever they're doing, when you're viewing that, you're not viewing that from the perspective of you doing that. You're viewing that from the perspective of this being a movie that is entertaining you, right? But when you're viewing someone as a speaker or someone that's doing something that you want to do, you're viewing that as you doing that too. You have to process you being on stage, sharing information, bringing the crowd to their feet, doing whatever it is that you process in your mind that person is doing. You want to do that too, right? Unless you want to be a movie star, you want to act in movies too. That may be what you want to do also. But whatever you're projecting, whatever you're viewing, we have a tendency to be really, really critical on ourselves because we hadn't gone through the practice stage of what they've gone through. See, when you do something, there's a practice stage that if you don't incorporate that into it, you'll never get to where those people are because you don't go from where you are to there. It's not like that. So there's going to be some rough roads along the way. As you're going up that hill, there's going to be things you have to dodge too. Not just, the steepness of the hill. People are going to be throwing things at you as you're trying to climb that hill. And literally, right? And, sometimes, there are going to be things that you can't avoid. So you're going to sometimes take a direct hit. And then you got to recover from that direct hit. Now, how long is that going to take? It depends on the impact. It could take months, years. You don't know. But that's your life. That's your life, right? That's not my life. And what I go through is my life, not your life. So you may avoid all that. But if you're able to avoid that, then understand this, a lot of that is conscious. That's not just like that. You're consciously doing things to avoid that direct hit, right? That's what I do in life. Because the way life is, things are gonna happen. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and there are gonna be things that I didn't plan on having to address, right? 10 minutes from now, there can be things coming in my life that I didn't plan on having to address whatsoever. But I have to adjust whatever that is, because that's called life. If it doesn't kill me, I have to continue, right? So do you. You have to continue on. Now, how long are you going to allow something to hold you back? If it's somebody, you're getting fired from a job, or if it's someone hitting the side of your car and you have to go get another car or whatever that process, and that's going to set you back, and you just started school and now you don't have transportation to get back in school. You spend all your money to enroll in class. Now you don't have transportation to make it to class, and you're looking thinking the world is at the end. No, that's not the end. That's situations, and that's what's going on in your life, and it has to be addressed. And as soon as it's addressed, it will change. Right? As soon as you do something about it, it'll change. And then you have to go forward from that. And that's the ability we have as thinkers, as people who are able to make decisions about things, right? Because you can choose to say no just as like you can choose to say yes. And some of the things you say yes to, you know you should say no to. And especially if you have a place that you want to go, you're trying to be reach a point. You're trying to do today what people don't do, so you can have tomorrow what people won't have, right? You have to actually take that serious. You have to do some things today that people are not doing. Where people are going out and spending a whole bunch of money on this and spending a whole bunch of money on that, spending a whole bunch of time over here having all this fun. That's good, but don't expect that that's going to give you the reward that a person who is committed to doing a certain thing a certain way, gaining a certain understanding about a certain thing. Don't think you guys are probably going to be able to live the same way 10, 15 years from now. It doesn't work like that. Because what you're going through is life, and it's a lot of fun. But what that person is going through is life also. But it's more committed to the end. And see, like for what I do, what I'm doing with these videos, I'm setting these videos up on purpose to leave a pathway for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, anybody else but them specifically, so that they can say, that was my grandfather. That was my great-grandfather. That is someone that I can watch, and I can say, I can be like that. I can do that. And they will have confidence because they know that they're part of me. And just like that communication or that belief was cut off from me, I can start it up again. I can instill it in the next generation. Because when you think about the next generation, because understand this, we're all going to leave this planet at one point. No one gets out alive. So, having said that, what you leave can be just as important as if you were still here. Because there are places and there are systems you can put in place. Like you can have a company that will continue on after you're gone. You can have a lineage set up for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, so that they will all benefit from your effort today, from what you're putting in it today, even though you'll be long gone. So, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do. And there's a lot you should do. But what we don't do more often than not is we don't think that we have that ability to make those changes in our lives. And we do. And nobody else does. Nobody else will. And nobody else should. That's what you should do. You have that ability and you can do it. If you don't do it, don't blame the people around you. Don't blame your surroundings. Don't blame your handicap. Don't blame your disadvantages. Because we all have those. We all have vices. We all have things we deal with. We all have battles we fight. We all do. Don't forget to share these videos, like these videos, and I'll see you on the next video. SpeakerLarry.com